My name is Lisa Fair. You know, one of the things that happens in our life is sometimes you got to get down on your knees. You got to fall flat on your face. And that's kind of what happened for me about 30 years ago before, the transition happened. That's what I would say, the wake-up call. The wake-up call happened, and my life was pretty devastating. I was a single mom with 2 children, and just felt I was actually diagnosed with clinical depression, and I was trying to do everything to try to figure out how to get out of this. And believe me, I felt like I went down every damn road that there was. I couldn't take it, materialism and money and success and relationships and drugs and anything that I could get my hands on just to fill that empty part of my soul. I was so dead. I mean, I was the living dead. And plus my mind was like just totally filled with just egoic thoughts. I didn't even know it. It becomes normal. We think that that's just the way life is. And my mind had gotten so out of control. I would say, I was just possessed by the ego, really, and we don't even know that we are. It's just the way, this noise in our head, this voice that we think is us, and it's just repeating over and over and over again. So anyhow, I ended up going to kill myself, and I actually was never raised in any kind of anything. The only thing I ever did was my parents, just really trying to get rid of us, would send us to Bible school. And I remember loving Bible school because I would just love singing, just get into the singing. But so I had no really spiritual anything. I don't know anything about nothing. I mean, I had these Mennonite people come in my house praying for me because they just knew I was just so messed up. I mean, I worked as a waitress. At that time, I worked as a waitress in a restaurant, and they were just praying for, they would come to my house every Wednesday, these Mennonites. And really, when I looked at anything that was in my life at that time, anything spiritual, it did not look fun at all. So I'm like, oh my God, I was a partier. I was, really a pleasure seeker and a pain avoider was what I was. Looking for the next fix. I mean, really, I was an IV drug user and, just really just so lost. That's really what it is. And what I see is we're lost in our mind. No one ever told us to look at our thoughts. And here at the Awakening Tools, I have so many gifts, so much juiciness to share with you because, in a suicide attempt for me, I actually, was down on my knee. I mean, literally. And I just prayed out. I didn't even believe in God, but I thought, okay, if I'm going to kill myself, I better just have one last shot. If there's a God in heaven, I remember I just actually, I just always, as soon as I talk about that, yeah, it's like that was just a profound miracle that happened when I was in that situation, just so lost and so desperate. And I just screamed out to God. I said, if there is a God in heaven, you better damn well save me now. And it was like a howling. I always call, it's like a howling that happens where it's like so desperate. And I was like the worst mother. I just couldn't do it. I was so exhausted every day, just trying to make it. And this unbelievable, beautiful light came in my room. And it came in my room. And it just I was in the dark. And it came in my room. And all of a sudden it just started shooting out words. It was like filled my room. And it was up in the corner of my room. And I was looking, and all of a sudden it says, Lisa, Lisa, Lisa. You have to truly believe, truly fly. Lisa, Lisa, Lisa. It just kept going on and on. It was like every time it spoke, these sparks were coming out of this light. And it just kept saying, Lisa, Lisa, Lisa. Oh, I'm just going to get it. I feel yeah, it just gets emotional for me because, I didn't believe in anything spiritual or anything, and I just feel like it was God answering my prayer. And like, one of the things that was so profound, I don't even know how long I was locked into this experience, but one of the things that I really felt was, because I felt like I had given up on the world, I'd given up on, everything, I was just so lost. And then, one of the thing, and the thing that was such the gift for me was that when it said believe, believe, it was like this profound thing because I realized I believed in everything. But God or source, whatever you want to call it, I have no idea what it was. It was like this, it was a saving revelation to me because I realized that I had something to believe in. And I was like, oh my God, because I felt like I had nothing left to believe in this world. And I know it just gets me so emotional because I remember I just like shot out of my bed. And I just was like, oh my God, I never believed in God. I never believed, I used to watch these Mennonites. They used to come to me every Wednesday. And I think, God, if I could only have the faith that they have. They were so beautiful and so devoted. But anyhow, the miracle happened. It was a miracle. And my life completely changed. And that was probably about 27 years ago that actually happened to me. And so it just began this whole new adventure for me. I've been determined. And it seemed like A Course in Miracles came into my life, and that was the one. And it was such a beautiful love story. It's such a beautiful love story. It really, really is. But one of the things that I feel that is so beautiful for me right now is because I've let go of the books, I've let go of the teachers, I've let go of all of it, and just to fully embrace this full presence and feeling this elation of this present moment is really where I'm at. And so over the years, after that, it was just like, it's all practical application, it's learning to see what's ruling our mind. And that's really what actually happened for me. And I devoted my life, from that moment forth, I devoted my life to believing. I remember when I got the Course in Miracles, and I'm not here trying to convince you about studying anything. I feel like we're all just, it's so individual, but that was what was for me. And it was all about the joy and the laughter. And that's what happened, because, I had actually had a sister, my deepest love of my life, truly growing up. She was like my mother. And when I was about 19 years old, and this was part of my depression, but when I was 19 years old, she disappeared. And she was found 6 years later, and she had been murdered and raped, and it just totally devastated, the whole thing just totally destroyed my whole family concept. My mother was never the same after she disappeared. It was just a crumbling of Lisa and her whole identity for a long time. And just I was a victim. I thought I was a victim of this world. I believed I was a victim, and my world reflected that. So I guess I just wanted to introduce myself because I feel like right now there's a new chapter that has opened up for me. And I was in spiritual community. I ran mystery schools. I worked with hundreds and hundreds of people over the years, and I've been so blessed, such a blessing. I got to travel around the world. I said it in my first video, but I just feel like there's so much juiciness that I want to share with you because I have hundreds of parables, hundreds and hundreds. And I want to just really have this building a community, a new community, something that is that we all can just tap into. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life, where have you been, what you've done. I've said that before, but I feel like it's such an important thing that we stand in, really just, we didn't create ourselves. I love that. It's like we're all created from the exact same creator, whatever you want to call it. I don't care about on all this religion stuff. I know one thing where it's like, let go of all the religion. Really what we want to do is we want to be happy. That's what I want. And I know that's what you want. And we all want it. And guess what? I'm just going to support that. And I'm going to share all the things with you. I have tons of show ideas coming in. And so I want to just introduce myself. I'm going to be used as a tool. This is part of the practical application of all the spiritual traditions. I've studied tons of them. But, it's about a demonstration, a living demonstration. That's what we want. Someone that is just enjoy. And that's what I feel for myself. I feel like what a gift that I can share with you, that there are answers to your problem. And just really, I just feel like, thank you. I want to get to know you all. I want to share my joy with you. And I just feel like this very big heart assignment that we're all going to enjoy together. And, I know one thing, my life is quite an adventure because I really don't have a plan. Even though I'm doing this YouTube thing, it's like, okay, the next thing's telling me what to do. The next thing's telling me what to do. It's living a life of spontaneity, authentic spontaneity, and not being, stuck in roles and just really following our heart. Every one of us, we're all doing the best that we can. And so thank you for joining me, and let's see what happens.